Alrighty then, welcome back. Last time my computer crashed in the middle of rigging, so for this, I'm going to complete the rigging, and then we're going to work on the face rig, which is probably the most complicated one, just because it's different from all the other bones. So to edit the rig, you actually want to press Tab, and just move these bones down. And also I have auto mirror on, so we'll actually everything for more or less. Yeah, there we go. I'm just moving everything down into place. Right now, I'm not focusing on the face too much, and this character doesn't have ears, apparently. Okay, I guess I never modeled ears, but that bit's kinda easy. So, for the shoulders, we just line them up to their creases. Same thing for the elbow here and the hands. I already set up the legs and the bottom part on the y-axis, so not really much I have to do there. This bit is where the spine, where the neck starts, so we're going to move that up. And while we're at it, we'll also move these shoulders into place. The reason we have two bones here is because one of them is the face bone. Alrighty. Now then, I'm actually going to move this bit just back here a little bit, just so that the spine curves correctly. While I'm at it, I will move the head and face bones back into the center, as well as the spine bone. Or not the spine bone, the neck bone. And that will be the end of the body. Well, I guess we still have to do the arms, so let's do the arms now. Go into the z-axis and y-axis, select this, and make sure that they're lined up with the centers of our joints. Just like that. And while I'm at it here, I'm also going to go into the bounding box center, and I'm going to rotate the hand here just to get it centered. And then focusing on the hand here. And you'll notice it's doing the same thing on the other side because I have this x-axis mirror on. So I'm going to try to make this real quick. For the fingers, it's basically the same thing as the rest of the body, just move them into its center. Another thing you can do when selecting a finger is just press L, move it into the center, and then align the rest of the bones. This bit's pretty easy, so I might skip over it in editing. Alright, that is our thumb rigged. Now we just do that exact same thing for all the others. I guess we could curve it a little bit to just give the editor a bit of an idea of which way we want it to curve. If it curves out this way, then it's going to bend the thumb in this way. And that applies to all the other fingers as well. What the fuck? Alright. And for the rest of the hand, we have these bits. These bits actually display the bones on like an actual hand, so where the tendons and knuckles connect. And we're just gonna place them as they are in real life. So pressing L and doing that. Whoopsie. Scrap that and put it over here. Cool. That is that. And then we just set our things to select all the fingers, move them down a little bit. Mm-hmm. And then curve them into the skin. Alright, and we are done with rigging the hand. Yay, boom, green screen explosion. Okay, cool. Now that we're done rigging the hand, we are going to go back into object mode, and we're just gonna press Control A and select all transforms. And that will set up our object, or our rig scale and location, as well as everything else. Now for the face. Oh, the face. So basically what we're going to do here is select the ears, and since my character doesn't have ears, I'm just going to arbitrarily just put them here. Um, yeah. Yeah, I guess that's where the ears would go if they existed. And they'd probably be a little bit bigger, but I'm not here to do that. Anyway, first thing we're going to want to focus on is the eyebrows right here. And those aren't actually the eyebrows. The eyebrows actually fall in between. Well, they're actually right here. This is the actual set of bones that controls the brow, and then this middle bone right here that links all these three bones, that's the center of the brow. So you're gonna want to have this like higher up instead of like, let's say this center bit right here. This is not letting me move things. Oh, whatever. Just know that these are the actual brows. This is where the eyelid starts. And then this top part is where the top eyelid ends. And this is where the lower eyelid will sit. And then the single bone is for the eyeball. We're actually not going to rig this one right now. We're only focusing on what's on the surface. So yeah. So to place the eyelid thing, we're actually going to go into solid view. And what we're going to do is we're going to turn on snapping, and we're going to turn on snap to face project. And it's going to snap with the closest face, and we're going to snap it to the center. And yeah, that'll be that. So now what we can do is we can actually move this up to where our eyelid is going to start, and you'll see it actually conforms to the normals of the object. Can't see it right now because on this I have a subdivision surface modifier, but if I was to turn that off, you'd see it. It's conforming just as is. So yeah, you can also make it affect the rotation and scale, and set this to individual origins, just like so. But yeah, basically now that you have that there, I'm actually going to undo all the moves I did here. And I'm going to turn on x-axis mirror again, and then I'm going to move it into place. And then Blender's gonna crash. So, pause, hold please. Alright, now where were we? Oh yeah, right, we were doing this. Setting the snapping on, face project, rotate, all of that good stuff. And then throwing our eyebrows right up here. And while we're at it, we're also going to eyelid start. We're gonna select each individual point and we're just gonna move it, and that is going to basically snap it to wherever it's supposed to be on the actual normal of the face, just like so. And this will actually work for every face bone. However, we don't want to do that with these bones here. The teeth bones and the tongue bones. And also, we don't want to do it with the actual eyeball bone here. Only with everything else. And I guess the ears also. But ears are the only manual work we're gonna have to do. Everything else is gonna be self-explanatory and snap to the normals. Alright, let's continue here. Alrighty, so now we come to the part of the tutorial where essentially we have basically all of the muscles mapped out outside of the eyelids, eyeballs, teeth, and tongue. And that's actually exactly where we want to be. I'm going to turn on the snapping again, and then I'm going to place down the eyelid parts. And I'm actually going to go into solid view. And here's something I forgot to mention. If you don't see the bones when you go into solid view, go into your armature tab right here, scroll down and check in front, just so you can see them. And of course, if you're a nerd, you can also turn on the axes, but like, it gets a bit messy. Alright, and now we have what is essentially our sets of eyes all rigged up and ready, or at least the eyelids are ready. So now we are ready to turn off some napping. Here we go. Now what we're gonna do is we're actually going to hit tab again, and then apply all of our transforms, go back into edit mode. We have our eyes here, but first we're gonna focus on the mouth. So we're gonna select our teeth. If I can, we're gonna select our teeth bones, as well as our tongue, and both of our eyes here. And then we're gonna press Alt H, or no, Shift H, and that's gonna hide every other bone, which is good for us because we only want to see these ones. Because these ones are the ones that we'll be manually placing and editing. So you'll notice I'm just gonna place the teeth right where the geometry of the teeth should sit, and I'm going to place the points of the tongue right where all the points of the tongue should be sitting. Alright, so my loops are a little bit off, but whatever. Yeah, there we go. Actually, I'm gonna move that up a bit. Then I'll move this down a bit, just so that the tongue curves correctly. Now for the eyes. We're gonna select one of these eyes, and what we're gonna do is exit out of edit mode. We're gonna select our eyeball here, and this part only works if you have an eyeball. And we're gonna select our eyeball here, and we're gonna press Shift S, and then we're gonna say cursor to active, and that'll bring the 3D cursor onto our eyeball. And we're gonna select our eye bone here, and we're gonna say Shift S, and we're gonna say selection to cursor, and that'll put our bone right in the center of the eyeball, and then we can just extend it out to the edge. So that works if you have an eyeball, but what if you have anime eyes? And the reason I say that is because if you have anime eyes that are a 2D texture, they're not going to rotate along a ball axis like they do. They're going to move up and down or like side to side, whatever, right? But the way the Rigify rig works is it needs to rotate. But we can actually simulate that rotation by just giving it a bigger axis. So right now, the thing is rotating from the ball here, and it's rotating like so, up to that point. So what we can actually do is we can basically set our bone to be further back. So let's say if it was like somewhere, like right here, right? When we draw it out and then take a radial calculation, we just, that looks like it would work better. Like, yeah, so if you have anime eyes, what you would do is you would essentially go into edit mode, and instead of having your eyes all the way up here, you would have to put your eyes all the way back here, and that will rig up your eyes correctly. But since I don't have that, I'm not going to do that. Alright, now we're done. We can press Alt-H to unhide all the bones. Hit Tab. Press this. Alt-G. And Alt-S. There we go. And now our character is finished rigging. So now there's just one more thing that we have to do, and that's actually generate the rig. So let's do that. To generate a rig, we are going to go into our solid view, and on our rig tab, we have our meta rig. What we're going to do is we're going to scroll down until we see, where is it? Meta rig 1, bone groups. Here we go, Rigify. We're gonna scroll down to Rigify, and you'll see it has an upgraded face rig option. If you don't want to use the upgraded face rig, then you don't have to click that. But I want to use the upgraded face rig, and since I already put the bones in place, you would think that it would make you put those bones in place again, but no. If we upgrade the face rig here, it's just going to upgrade it with accountability towards where you put your bones. So that's just amazing. So now, after we've finished that, we can hit generate rig, and there it is, our puppet rig. Oh god, it looks so cursed. After that, we can select our meta rig and press H to hide it. If you want, you can also move it to another collection. I'm going to put it in their scene collection, just because I don't want it to be a part of the character when I export. And now we have our meta rig here. And you can see when we move the eye controller, it moves the flexes on the actual skin. Move the hand controller. Let me set this to in front so I can actually select the hand controller. And it's fully arcade rig. Now that we've completed all of that, we are now going to select every bit of our character. So every single shape that's included in our character except for the tongue, the teeth, and the eyes. So it's just the body, the shirt, the pants, the hair, and as well as the actual hair scalp. And then once we have those bits selected, we can select our rig here, and we're going to hit Control P and choose automatic weights. And it appears that it's rotated our hair. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on the hair, and I will just find its scalp, which is fine. Scalp is fine, it's only the hair. So we're going to actually select our hair, rotate Z 180. We're actually going to, oops, no, we don't want to do that. We just wanted to rotate it correctly. So now, if we were to select our rig and test it, you can see that it's deforming the skin. It's a little bit laggy here, but it does work. And if we move our eyelids, yeah, it's catching some parts of that scalp, but our eyelids are working, so that's good. It's going through the eye a little bit, maybe because I misplaced it, but at least it's working. Another thing I want to check is the mouth. So yeah, there's a few things that we have to fix in weight painting, of course. Ah, I see. So when the vertexes go through each other like that, it's gonna, like, merge together, but again, that's what weight painting is for. And to fix things in weight painting, we can go to weight paint, and here we have all of our bones. So we can click this arrow, look for lip. Yep, there it is. And turn on mirror. And you'll notice that we can actually take this lip top now, and I can actually make this weight go down, but it appears that I'm gonna have to choose the right one. Lip TR, let's whoops. Now, if you're having trouble getting the weight paint to cooperate like this, another thing you can do is go into edit mode, and you can select the lip top R, right? And you can take a look at which vertexes it's actually taking in. So you can see that it is not taking in the correct vertexes at all here. So we can just take those vertexes and hit remove. And then if we deselect those, TR and select bottom L, let's see, top L, select those, and you'll notice it's actually selecting way too much of the bottom. So what we can do is we can unselect our vertices that we know are part of the top, like that one. Just like so. And while I'm at it, I'm also gonna take a look at this. So now that we've selected all the bottom vertices, we can just remove. So now, if we go back in here and we select the top lip again and hit select, it's only going to select the top ones. So yeah, that works out wonderfully. And then we can do the same thing for every other thing. So let's see, is it selecting any bottom vertices here? It is, I see that. So all I have to do is just go around, deselect all of the bottom vertexes, and that will be that. Select, and this is going to be top. Remove, select, so that's only selecting the topmost vertices. There we go. And while I'm at it, I think I will also make it select that one. So that one's part of the top. Assign. There we go. And then we can scroll down to define lip bottom. Hit select. And we can see that those actually selected just fine. However, I want it to be assigned to those bits as well. Assign, define, lip bottom 01, select, and it actually hasn't selected anything for the bottom. So we will have to work on that. Hit assign, and that should be that. So now, if we go back into object mode, select our rig, try doing that again. There you go. Weight paint fixed, just like that. And yeah, that is that. This is going to be a very long video. It's a 42-minute video, but you know what? For the last lecture, seems simple enough. Alright, so now that I've fixed the lips, you should have a good idea of the two different ways you can fix weight painting. So I'm just going to reset the scale there. And the reason I like the updated face rig is because you can like move the mouth around, get some funny shapes like that. But now we're going to focus on what's inside. So we have our teeth objects here. We're going to select our top tooth, and then we're going to select our thing right here. We can select the bone for the top teeth. We're going to press Ctrl B, and we're going to select bone, and that will assign this bone to our top teeth. And then we do the same thing for our bottom, and that's that. And finally the eyeballs. So we're going to select our eyeball, and we're going to select our rig. And one thing you'll notice is that there's actually no bone here like we had before. To fix that, we're going to go into our skeleton, And in our bone layers, we're going to turn on this one. Because, is it that one or... No, it's this one. We're going to turn on that one. And we are going to select this bone right here. Not the master bone, the def IL bone. And then we can do Control P, bone. And then we just do the same thing on the other eye. Control P, bone. And then we can get rid of this. So now if we go into material view where I see my eye shader, you'll notice that now the eyes are following. Just like that, we have basically finished our character. We can select our hand bone. It's going to follow IK. It'll even stretch if you want that. All of that is available to edit in the IK handles here. So if you don't want stretch, you could just make that 0. And then it will no longer stretch. Another thing is when you have an IK bone selected, you can choose to turn on its pull. And then you have fully rigged character ready for animation. God damn it, the hair is always a problem. So, reason the hair is a problem right now, because we did not actually put it together. So we're gonna select the hair and then our rig, and we're going to select the bone of the top of our head here. Control P, bone. So now, if we move our head bone, the hair should follow. And another thing that would be following is the eyebrows. But it appears that I might have forgot to select the eyebrows. I did. We're going to select automatic weights for these eyebrows. And then we have eyebrow control. Wonderful. Everything is going as planned. Perfect. Alrighty. And that is our full character done and done. Now, if you're wanting to use this character with the asset browser without any, like, errors, parenting things to the bone will not transfer correctly. So the way you would do that is if I select the eyes and then... Oh, we didn't rig the tongue. Whoops. Let's do that. Select our tongue here, which I'm now realizing doesn't have a material. There we go. Select our tongue, select our rig, Control P, automatic weights. And then we can go into wireframe for this and select our tongue bone here. And if we move it, you should see the tongue accurately move around. Some points did not seem to catch on, but we can fix that. Again, we can fix that in weight painting. So yeah, character. I'm just testing out basically every part of the rig. This is a jawbone right here, so if we rotate this on the x-axis, pog, we have our teeth, just like so. And then from here, we can access our tongue, just like so. Might have to fix the weight paints on the tongue a little bit, but other than that, it is fine. And now, to fix the weight painting on the hair, eyes, and teeth for transferring in between projects, what we're going to do is we can actually first, we're going to want to convert our hair part here into a mesh, but if you're going to simulate it, then maybe don't do that and just work with it. Well, for the eyes, you definitely want to use weights on the eyes. And the way we're going to do that is actually have all of these vertex groups, so I'm just going to delete all of these. That's from the asset browser. I don't know why they're there. I have to go back to the original eye asset and fix that, but whatever. Anyway, we'll go to our rig, and then we'll select both of our eyes, select our rig last, Control P, and we're going to choose empty groups. Now we can choose def I, and it'll show us def IL, and you'll notice we have our left eye selected here. We're going to hit tab, and we are just going to hit assign with this selected. And then we select our right eye, all the vertices, select def IR, and hit assign. And what this will do is it will basically set up the weights on our eyes, and it's essentially the exact same thing as setting up the bone weights. This time, it is actually accurate to the weights. Oh, yeah, I forgot to bake the shader for the eye. But if you bake the shader and then the textures, then that weird glitch should not be happening. Either that or that is mapped to the object orientation instead of the UV. So yeah, all in all, easy character. These bits on the fingers, if you scale them, they curve the fingers. You can also rotate them. This bit will be rotated, make the hand wider, close the fingers in a little bit more. So many controls, such little time. But there you go. That's a character. This video is almost an hour long. I'm done here.